for educational critical review and reaction is Jordan Maxwell.
He's an old friend of mine, one of my oldest friends on earth. Known him for over 3 decades now. He's a writer, researcher, lecturer, raconteur, gangster. Actually, he's the original gangster. He hung out with mafiosis and some of the toughest guys in the world. And of course, you know him as Jordan Maxwell, the great, the original gangster, the guy that was there before almost any of us were there. And how you doing, Jordan?
Oh, fine now. Thank you for that intro.
Well, you were the original gangster. I mean,
Yeah, I know, especially to the Catholic Church,
yeah,
Church.
They don't like you very much. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't like them very much either.
All right. So what I want to talk about today is, of course, my favorite subject of yours, which is astrotheology. And I just love it because the way that you explain it, it undermines so many things that we take, as in stone, facts that are in stone, and they're not. So let's talk about theory about Jesus and the 12 apostles and the zodiac. What's going on there?
Well, the zodiac is actually God's prayer, because Jesus said, when you pray, we call it the Lord's Prayer. No, it's not the Lord's Prayer. He said, when you pray this way. And you say, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Zeus. And let your kingdom come and your will be done on the earth as it is in heaven. Well, what is a kingdom? We call it a kingdom of animals. And so the different seasons are marked by animals. Right. We have a lion for the summer, a lion for the constellation of Leo for the summer. He's a lion. He's an animal. And then we have a lamb or a ram. The ram was a symbol for the spring.
Yep.
Because he was springing back to life. And so there's two animals right there. And so a lion in the old prehistoric ancient Greek language, I do mean old, ancient language, a lion or an animal was called an animal. And so that's why animals are in zoos. So when you say, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Zeus, let your kingdom of animals come and let your will be done. Well, his will is the zodiac, and his animals are going to have their way on the earth. And so we have the summer and the sign of Leo and in the constellation of summer. And so we are finally coming to an understanding that let your kingdom come is a kingdom of animals, the animal kingdom. And that so many people have been told that astrology is of the devil. Yep. I would suggest that you had better check on that before you go saying things like that. Astrology is in the Bible. In Genesis 1:1 and 1:2, it says, in the beginning, God said, let us make man in our image. In fact, it never said, let us make man in our image. It doesn't say that. It says, let us make Adam in our image. And that's what we are calling the pre-Adamic race. because Adam, A-D-M, and we say it's A-D-A-M, not A-D-A-M, A-D-M is Adam. And so when we read in Genesis 1:1 that God said, God didn't say anything. The word is Elohim,
Right.
meaning the gods. The correct translation should be, in the beginning, the gods created the heavens and the earth. More than one. Christians will say that's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. No, no, no. That's Hebrew. Go back to the Hebrew. If you want to use that prayer, go back to the Hebrew. It says, in the beginning, God said, or the Elohim said, let us. Who is us? Is a multiple gods, and we refer to them as one God. Well, it doesn't matter how many gods there are, as long as that God is hearing you. And so that's what we are now experiencing. We are experiencing the return of the Elohim. They are in flying saucers. We are referring to them as UFOs. And the UFO is Elohim that are coming down to the earth to see how we're going to react, to watch us react to how we're being treated. And so we're not reacting very well to how we're being treated, because we're being treated not very well.
No, we're
and
not.
So that's the problem we're having today. We talk about UFOs everywhere. It's the Elohim, the gods, who are coming back to the earth to see how we're going to react, how we're reacting. They're curious to know what we're going to do about what we're doing. And so we are doing nothing. We are all in compliance. We're all in compliance with the orders from the masters. And so the people are totally ignorant of all of the circumstances of the heavens. And so we're told to, in Genesis, God created the heavens and the earth. It doesn't say that, doesn't say heavens and the earth. He created the system under which we live, which is an animal kingdom in the zodiac, and that's his will. And so when we say, let your will be done, that's nice because it's going to be done, whether you like it or not. And so, that's what we're doing right now, is we're living through the times that were foretold. And we knew that they were coming, and we knew that the Elohim were coming back. We were told that the devil and his demons are coming back. They're concerned about us, what we're doing and what we're going, and how we're going to accept it. And so that's what we're doing now. We are actually trying to work with what they are doing to us.
Doesn't it seem like, 20 years ago, we felt like the old families of Europe and families like the Rockefellers were running everything, but that doesn't feel like that's happening anymore. It feels like there's new managers. It's like as if the Elohim has said, we don't like what the old masters were doing, and we were replacing them with new masters, but the new masters
worse.
They could even be more. Yes. They could be worse. Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think?
So anyway, that's what we are. We are living through the time of the end, because they are bringing the end on civilization. And we knew there was going to be a time of the end, and we're in it right now.
This whole idea
The
of
heavens ruling the
symbology,
earth.
yeah, symbology of that Jesus is the sun, and each of the apostles represents one of the 12 signs of the zodiac. And
Yeah.
really, what you're getting is this whole idea that God rules us through the zodiac, right?
Yes, that's right.
And there's
Through the
nothing
12
you can do
apostles.
about it. There's
No.
really nothing. Yeah, it's like
He
getting
just set
old.
the zodiac. God set the zodiac and leaves it alone.
Yeah,
Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. That's all there is to it. So he doesn't have to watch every move we make. He just sets certain times and certain symbols for those times and leave it alone. And we'll let the humans deal with it.
right. And it's sort of like aging. You know, there's nothing you can do about it. Like you go into puberty at a certain age, you lose your teeth at a certain age, or you get wrinkles at a certain age, you know, you get old at a certain age. There's nothing you can do about it. I've known, you know, you can try to put it off as long as possible, but age is like the zodiac. It's inevitable.
It is. It's inevitable.
Yeah.
It's going to happen whether you like it or not.
Isn't there a passage in the New Testament where Jesus talks about the coming age of Aquarius?
Yeah.
What is that passage? Tell us about that.
That's in Luke 22:10.
Yeah.
Where he said, the apostles, the 12, came to Jesus and they said, Master, now that you're going to die, we know you're going to die because no age lasts forever. So we know you're going to die. But in German, we call it sun, S-U-N, the sun. That's why you go to church on Sunday. And that's why in German, sun is spelled S-O-N. Therefore, he is God's son, the light of the world. Well, of course, the sun is the light of the world. What else lights the whole world besides the sun? And so that's why we go to Sunday school and we learn about God's son.
So this is really a solar religion, you're saying?
Yeah, that's it. It's
and
a solar religion.
It's a solar religion and Jesus is the sun.
Yeah. But in German, in Germanic language, English is a Germanic language.
Yeah.
But in German, it's called Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxon is Anglo-English, Saxon based on Saxon. Saxon is German. So today, when we say God's son lights the world, in Germany, they're saying that thing comes up in the morning and spelled S-O-N. And so the church figured that you need to put a man on the cross so that people can feel and appreciate that this is a very important subject about the sun dying. And so that's what we
every night.
do. Yeah.
Every night the sun dies and is resurrected the next morning.
That's right.
So it's really
he said he would return. He would return. And this is the return of Jesus. Every morning he comes out, he returns. And so he is the invisible sun. In other words, no matter what you do to the sun, it's going to come up in the morning. It's going to rise in the morning. And we say, he is risen. He is risen. Of course, the sun is risen. And he is the light of the world. Of course, the sun is the light of the world, and he is risen. It's all very simple once you understand what talking about the actions in the heavens and what the sun and the moon are doing in the heavens and the stars. And the word stars in the Old Testament refers to the zodiac. They are referred to in Genesis 1, when it says that God created the heavens and the earth. That includes the heavens and the earth. And then it said, and God created the stars also. The word stars also implies the collection of zodiac, and it's called the zodiac. And so when it says that God created the stars, also it was adding that He created, incidentally, whether you know it or not, He created the zodiac,
Right.
and the zodiac will have its way on the earth, whether you like it or not. And that's why we have the ram god of Egypt was the ram, and it was a lamb or a ram, and it was a lamb of God, and it was a spring when the sun is coming back to the earth because it went south, and when it went south on the day of December 22nd, it hit the lowest point in the southern sky. It
Right.
doesn't go any lower than the 22nd of December. Then for 3 days, it rises on the same exact degree. And
The sun
therefore,
freezes.
and so therefore the ancient people said, if it rises on the same degree every year, it's been moving southward every day. Every day it's moving southward, and finally hits a place where it stops, and it rises on the same degree for 3 days. So figure he must have been dead for 3 days.
Right.
And so he died for 3 days, and then he's resurrected on December 25th. That's
Christmas.
God's son's birthday.
Right. That's right. And that's exactly right. And so, so we see that this is more like like almost like a Mithraic take on it, and so do they equate Christianity with Mithraism in like the scholars?
That's exactly what it is. It's Mithraism, because in Rome, before Christianity, there was a religion that the state of Rome accepted. It was called Mithraism, and they worshiped the god Mithra. Mithra was the son, S-O-N, of God, or we say S-U-N, of God. And so Mithra, being the son, everything in Christianity revolves around that fact about the sun and what happens to it. And what does it do? And it goes through life. It goes through the 12 signs of the zodiac. And they help the sun to spread his light. January and August and September helps the sun spread his light. So they're helping him. And so that's all religion has ever been, is astrotheology, is a theology. And why do we call it theology? Because the word T-H-E, is an ancient word in the Greek language for God. God was theo. And so we call it theo religion. And therefore we call it theism or theology, meaning the ology or the study of God. It's theology.
Right.
But we don't realize where these words have come from and why we're saying these words and why we're living the way we are, because we don't understand. We're living in the time of the end of the zodiac, the end of life on the earth.
The end of the age of Pisces.
Yeah.
And now we're into the age of Aquarius, which I believe that people like the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab and those people, I think they're actually trying to control the age of Aquarius.
I think so. I think they're trying to get ahead of it and control
That's right.
it.
That's exactly
They're
right.
trying to get ahead of it.
Mm-hmm. They know that the inevitable changes are going to take place, so they use.
Why not be in front?
Right.
Why not be in front of it?
Well, I mean, it's a smart thing to do, really. I see them making a lot of mistakes, and things aren't going the way that they want them to. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so severe of a crackdown, I don't think. But okay, so Christians aren't going to like to hear that, the religion that they revere, and we have all respect for Christians, believe me, I do. But when they hear you talk about it as this, and I want to also point out that if you go to look at the iconography of the Catholic Church, it's all about the sun up there in the sky. You look at the Pope medallions, and everything in the church is about this theology. Even the symbols. If you actually know how to read the symbols, you realize they're almost all astronomical and astrological.
Yes. And this is one thing I learned from you with that lecture you gave in Laughlin. That was a very eye-opening lecture when you talked about how the Pharaoh was walking along the Nile and he looked up and happened to see a silver disc over his head. And the silver disc people in the silver disc told the Pharaoh to go back to Cairo, and he's going to found a new religion, and they're going to make sure that the whole world knows about it. And so it was the religion of the sun over the mountain.
Akhenaten.
And so Akhenaten. And
yep, and he was walking down the Nile and he saw a flying saucer. And this is on the Temple of Edfu. This is in the Temple of Edfu. He was walking along. He saw silver. That's why the silver disc in the Egyptian with the wings, right?
Yeah.
That he invented that. That's his symbol for the god that told him, to follow the sun, become a worshiper of the sun. And so Egypt completely changed its religion. But Akhenaten literally killed anyone who practiced the old religion, and he ruthlessly promoted his new religion at the behest of somebody in a spaceship. And this isn't the only time that a UFO.
I think they in the spaceship were probably the demons, what we call the demons, because they look like humans, they act like humans, and they're about as crazy as we are. They eat each other, and we do too, and we rape and kill each other. And so we're just acting like them because we're made in their image and likeness. And their image and likeness means we look like them and we act crazy like them because they don't have any respect for life, human life at all. And so they're acting it out.
So your take on the extraterrestrials is that they're not very good beings.
No, they're not. I don't think so.
Well, I've been told by a very good source that they're taking the most human looking of them, and they're going to introduce it to us on television to this entity. Now, the person who's saying this is saying that he met this entity already. And that even though he's a very steely guy, served in the military and all that, his mind said, okay, I can deal with this, but his stomach and his whole body went into a wrenching when he met this being. So that tells me a lot.
Well, I have had certain experiences in my life that I know, I am totally convinced that it was the most evil creature I've ever met. And I know that's probably what we call Satan, the devil, because he was the most incredible, evil creature I have ever felt. Because I didn't see him, I felt him in the room. And I couldn't tell you how bad I was frightened to be in the company of a very powerful, occult, demonic creature. I could feel.
You've had several weird experiences with these ETs, haven't you?
Yeah, I've had a lot of experiences with them. So I know that there's something going on with the Bible, and it's not what you think it is. We're not living in a world where there's a good God who loves everyone, who's taking care of everything. No, we're not living in that world. And that's why we're trying to live under those circumstances in that world that does not exist. It doesn't exist. There is no good God who is leading us toward goodness and innocence and etc. It's a demonic God. And we are living in a demonic place right now, though we just don't know it. But soon we're going to be liberated from this world. We're going to die and we'll be gone. Thank
Well,
God.
to the younger people who, how do you think that if what you're saying is true, how do you think that what do you think people should do every day to get try to get through all this? Is there anything they can do about it?
I really don't think so. I don't think there's any hope. No hope. That's
So
the one
then,
thing that Christians do is they're always hoping. We hope that God will do this. We hope that God will do that. They do not understand what faith means. Faith means to, when you get up in the morning, you put your feet on the floor. Why did you put your feet on the floor? Because in your mind, you already know there's a floor. And so that's why you put your feet on the floor. Why? Because it's always been there. And that's the way God is. He's always been there. Always. And so that's why you put your feet on the floor, because you are trusting him, which means you have faith. Moses was the leader of a moon cult. And this is why today young people will pull their pants down and show their butt, and we say they're mooning you, because the God of the Moses was a moon god, and he was from the mountain of Sinai, and the word Ai is a mountain, and the word sin, Sin, was his name. It was a god of the mountains, was Sin, and the mountain was Ai. And so today we have artificial intelligence, AI, for God of the mountain. And so Sin Ai, Sinai, the
so
god of
sin
the
means
mountain
moon,
was
right?
King Sinai. The moon god came up from the mountains in the east. And so the people in Egypt assume that God, he's in the mountains, and every day he comes up about 6 o'clock. That's why the Hebrews have their holy days after 6 o'clock. That's when that God comes out, is after 6 o'clock. From 6 in the evening to 6 in the next evening is a day for the Hebrews. And the reason why is because that's when that God becomes awake. He comes up out of the mountain at 6 o'clock.
For cardinal sin, remember cardinal sin from the Philippines?
No.
Yeah, about 25, 30 years ago, there was a cardinal in the Philippines named Cardinal Sin, which just used to crack me up.
That's funny.
It is.
Yeah, I know what a cardinal sin is.
So,
and the word cardinal,
yeah,
that should tell you something too. Cardinal is a hinge on a door. And this is why the Pope is a Holy Father, because he's the door to eternity for you. And he has cardinals who help him. And they are hinges on a door. So he can swing back and forth, because he's a father. He's a Holy Father because he speaks for God. He's a Godfather. You get it?
yeah. There's a reason why the mob came out of Italy.
That's it. That's exactly right. And that's the reason why so many mafiosi gangsters are buried in the Catholic Church with big funerals, because the Pope is the holy Godfather. He is the one that they kiss his ring when they go to the Pope. They kiss his ring. Well, you better kiss his ring. If the Pope decides he doesn't like you anymore, and you're just a walking dead man, that's it. And so that's why we refer to him as a Holy Father. Most people do not know that he speaks for God. He's a Godfather.
Well,
So many,
go ahead.
so many things we could talk about. So many things in relation to religion that people just do not know. They don't know where the word comes from. They have no idea where we get the ideas from. We get the ideas from heaven. This is why we're told God is in heaven. And they ask a child, ask an 8-year-old or a 5-year-old, where is God? They will point up, he's up in heaven. Well, it's true, he is in heaven. It's the sun. The sun is in heaven. So when you die, you're not going to heaven with the God's Son, S-O-N. You're going into a pit, into a hole. The hole is called Sheol, Sheol, which is translated hell. And this is why we say Jesus went into hell when he died. And the reason why is because hell is a hole in the earth. It's mankind's common grave, hell. And so today when we tell people to go to hell, we're saying that they should go die and get lost, go to hell. And so we are so confused about religion, words and terms and all kinds
History.
of things. Yeah.
We don't know
Have
our
you?
history. We don't know our linguistics. We don't know really where
We don't
anything
know.
comes from. We wake up and the world is already created when we're born, and we have really not much we can do about that world. Your parents don't know what they're talking about for the most part, and the teachers certainly don't know what they're talking about. It used to be science kind of knew what it was talking about, but I'm
Yeah,
beginning to have my doubts about science now too.
I
So
agree. It has become so corrupted,
yeah,
and they have holy men in science. They have
yeah,
their holy writings and their
yep,
holy men.
yep. The religion, it's a
So
religion.
it's a religion. That's what it
Yeah, you can
is.
have heresies and get driven out of the religion.
Yeah,
If you say that global warming isn't real, then
that's
you've
right.
committed a heresy, and now you're driven out of the religion. There's a whole bunch of things you can say to be driven out of their religion. And it proves that once you get rid of one religion, human mind just has to have religion, so they just fill it back up with another one. And getting rid of
That's
religion
why I
won't
said
work.
there's almost no hope.
Yeah. Well, Jordan, I really have, all my fans have been asking for you to come on for like a year now. I finally got you. I'd lost contact with you, and our mutual friend Nick got me in contact with you, and I really appreciate that. And of course, your guy Brian helped out too. And you are the original gangster of this whole thing. And I'm just grateful I met you that night in Bel Air in 91
Oh
or
yeah.
and I'll do a quick story before we go here. Jordan was invited to speak at a bigwig party at Bel Air, and he graciously asked Richard Hoagland if he would like to come and talk too. And then Richard invited me. I have no idea why he invited me now to this moment. I have no idea. But I wanted to go to a bigwig Hollywood party, so I went anyway. And Richard kind of hijacked the talk, and you weren't really allowed to say much. And so you and I drifted up to the beautiful pool that was
Yeah, it was.
outside.
It was on the roof.
Sat
It
by
was
the
on a roof.
pool for what, 5 hours? Well, Richard gave a 5-hour lecture, and we talked, and we got to know each other, and it was a life-changing experience. And
It was.
Yeah, it was. And I didn't know who you were at the time. I didn't realize later that you were like this really famous guy. And I was like talking to you and like, oh God, I just hope I didn't say anything stupid to him. And I was like all worried about it. I tried to remember what we talked about, but it was a really good conversation and it created a really long friendship. And for that, Richard Hoagland, thank you. You did one good thing that night.
Yeah, he did. He did
Yeah.
one good thing. And I called Richard Hoagland about a week later when he went home. I called him and asked him if he liked the party. He said, yes, I like the party. And so I said, well, that's why I wanted you there. And he said, no, it's not what happened. That's not what happened. I was there because I am a star. And they know I am a movie star. They know I'm a star. And so therefore, they wanted me there because I am Richard Hoagland. I am a star. And then he told me, he said, because you are small potatoes. And so they wanted me there because I was a motion picture. I was like a movie star. So I said, Richard, who invited you? Who invited you? And he said, I don't remember who invited me. I said, it was me that invited you. I invited you.
I remember.
It was my party and I invited you and I gave you the opportunity to speak. And you spoke to the whole audience. And who was it that was supposed to be speaking? And he said, it was me. And I said, no, it was me. I was supposed to be speaking. And I gave it to you. I was hoping that you would be able to get a movie done. And in fact, there was a movie done. It was called, what was it? The Face on Mars. What was it?
No, it wasn't a Face on Mars. It was Mission to Mars.
Mission
Brian
to
De Palma.
Mars.
Yeah,
right.
Brian De Palma. Actually, a pretty good movie. Actually,
yeah,
it was a pretty good movie. Yeah. Well, Jordan, I have no doubt that Richard said that to you because I know Richard. He has to carry a wheelbarrow around to put his ego in. I'm not going to say anymore. Richard is a good guy. He's done some things to me I don't like, but for the most part, he's a good guy. He did really good research on particularly Iapetus and Saturn. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, I do too. I still like Richard.
Yeah, me too. I do too. And I speak to him occasionally. He's asked me to be on his show recently and I haven't said yes yet. So I don't know. It's not too damn late. Jordan, I want to thank you so much for being on Reality Check. So great to catch up with you again. Are you going to be at the UFO conference in March?
Which one is that?
Bob Brown.
Bob Brown?
Yeah.
I would like to be, but I don't know if I'll be able to.
Yeah,
I haven't been invited. I have not been invited.
I don't think they've got it together yet right now, but soon they'll have it. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you. Always happy to be on the show with you.